Hey guys, and welcome back. So this is going to be a really quick tutorial on how to apply LimeLife foundation. So chances are you've either got a foundation headed your way or you're considering buying LimeLife foundation. I would love it if you need a color match, if you would follow the link below to my little VIP community group. I would love to connect with you there and help get you a perfect foundation match. Let's get into this. So how do I apply LimeLife foundation? Well, the first thing that I do is I apply primer. The only time I would ever skip this is if I left it at home and did not have it with me on a trip. So I like to start out with our primer. I'm gonna put a really thin couple of spritzes on my face. The great thing about this primer is it is a non-silicone primer. So you're gonna spritz it on your face. It is not gonna clog your pores, cause breakouts, that type of thing. You're gonna wanna apply a really thin layer, a couple of spritzes around your face, and make sure that you let it dry completely. You do not want it to feel tacky at all to the touch. So I'm gonna wait a few seconds, fast forward. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how I like to apply our foundation with a brush. We also have a foundation brush that you can use, but I'm gonna show you guys the diffuser brush today. I'm also gonna show you guys the Blenderful sponge. A little bit more on that in just a second, but let's hop into this. So the diffuser or buffer brush, I prefer the diffuser, is an incredible brush. It's round on the end and flat, so it's easy to apply. So I am between foundation shades today. So one of the beautiful things about a cream foundation is it's super easy if you just need a little bit of an adjustment on the color, like we all do from time to time between seasons. You can mix these super easily. So basically what I do is I take my diffuser brush, I have it on my little black box lid, or the tray that's in my little black box. It's magnetic, and I literally do a little bitty twirl in one shade, a little twirl in the other shade, and tap it back into that last shade that I'm closer to is what I usually do. So then what I do is I kind of tend to dot it around my face a little bit, and then I start using circular motions to apply the foundation all over. Now, if you're using concealer to color correct, you would want to go ahead and apply that now before you start applying your foundation. But today I'm not using concealer, we're just doing foundation. And I'm gonna do one half of my face with the buffer slash diffuser brush. The diffuser brush is a little bit larger than the buffer brush, so you get a little bit more coverage, can be a little bit faster. And that is how you apply it. And it does not take much. Each of our pans of foundation lasts 3 to 6 months. I have not had anyone reorder actually in 3 months. So I usually tell people to expect to get 4 to 6 months out of these tiny pans of foundation. And the reason why they last so long, even though they're small, is the 50% pigment. So it is a wax-based cream foundation, so it doesn't go into your bloodstream, it doesn't irritate your skin, it doesn't clog pores, no breakouts, all of that stuff. But the 50% pigment is the key to having that light, weightless feeling foundation that looks just like skin. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but that foundation just killed the redness that I have in my cheeks. All right, now let's get into the Blenderful. Now, the Blenderful, especially when mixing foundations, is super simple to use. So again, I'm just gonna go back and forth between my foundation shades really lightly with the sponge. This is a super, super soft sponge, super, super easy to use. And again, it gives you that beautiful finish just like the brush does, but for some people, they prefer to apply foundation with a sponge over a brush. It's totally personal preference. If you want a lightweight application of the foundation, go ahead and dampen your brush or your sponge. That will give you a lighter application, and if you want more of a full coverage look, use these dry. So that is a tip that I have for people that like more of a natural look. I usually recommend that they go ahead and dampen the sponge or the brush because it gives them a lighter, more natural application of the product. So then moving on from there, depending on the type of finish that you like to your foundation, our foundation is super flexible. So a lot of people like a more matte look to their foundation, and we have two options to achieve this. The first option is actually our perfect pressed powder. Now, I am low on perfect pressed powder, but I want to show you guys how I apply it. So our perfect pressed powder is a translucent powder. It does look white in the pan. It does not go on white, and it does not have flashback. So a lot of times when you see a picture that's taken with flash, especially at night, and there's kind of this powdery glow to someone's face, they're not using our powder. So one of the things I like to tell people is to consider this powder, especially for weddings, because it's not going to flash back in the picture. All right, now I'm going to take my foundation brush. I know this sounds weird. I'm going to take my foundation brush, and I like to get a little bit of the pressed powder on my brush. And for me, I like to just add a little bit of powder under my eyes, unless I'm doubling down on my foundation to make it last through the summer heat. I will post a video of how I do that, and then I apply the powder all over. But for me, I just like to add a little bit of powder under the eyes and leave it at that. Now, if you want a matte look all over, you could take this brush, you can take a larger, fluffier brush, like our number 1 or number 2. Either one of these works perfect for pressed powder. I personally just like to hit the under eyes, and so I leave it at that. Now, if you don't want to use a powder product, I know a lot of people prefer to steer clear of powder products. We have another option for those of you guys that like a matte look. We have our, now let's say that you don't want to use a pressed powder. We actually have a finishing spray that mattifies the foundation but does not require you to use a pressed powder. Now, it is called our Oil Strike setting spray, and it is incredible. If you like that look, it is a great product. The other option, if you want to keep kind of a more natural skin-like glow to your foundation, the other option is the Time Setter finishing spray. This does not mattify the foundation, but it does help kind of seal off the foundation, and you're ready to go even if it's hot outside. So I'm going to finish this off with a little bit of setting spray because it is hot in Texas. So let's get this on. So I personally reach for the Time Setter. It lasts up to 16 hours, and it really does a great job of keeping the foundation in place. So that is how I do my foundation, and I love it. I will never go back to liquid foundation. I love this stuff so much. I hope this was helpful. If you have more questions or would like more information, I will have a link below to my community group if you'd like a color match or would just like to connect personally. So make sure you click on through to that and join, and I will see you guys in the next video with more tips and tricks on how to use LimeLife products. Now, if you're considering joining network marketing and you're looking into LimeLife by Alcone, I'd love to connect, and I would love to tell you about my growing team. I'm a director with LimeLife by Alcone, and I'm so proud of this company that I'm a part of. And please make sure you connect with me on Facebook. I would love to chat with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. All right, bye.